Hello, I'm Andy Norman from Antek Automation and welcome to Quick Tips. Today, voice AI and why something that used to be locked away inside big corporations with deep pockets now genuinely makes sense for a two-person trade firm. I want to do this one carefully because there's a lot of hype and a lot of nonsense and you deserve the straight version. Let me start with what this actually is because the name puts people off. When I say voice AI, I am not talking about the dreadful press 1 for sales, press 2 for accounts menu that everybody on earth hates. That's a relic from the 90s and it loses you customers. What I'm talking about is completely different. It's a system that can hold a proper, natural conversation with the person who rings you. It understands normal speech the way a real person talks, not robot commands. It answers the questions your customers actually ask. What are your hours? Do you cover my postcode? Can someone come out today? How much roughly for a job like this? And then crucially, it takes action. It books the appointment, it writes down the job details, it puts it in your diary. Now let me be just as clear about what it isn't, because I don't want to oversell it. It is not a gimmick and it is not about replacing the personal touch that wins trade work in the first place. People hire you because they trust you. This doesn't change that. What it does is stop you losing the caller before you ever get the chance to build that trust. Because right now, when you can't pick up, that relationship dies at the first ring. So how do you actually think about whether this is for your business? 3 practical things. First, look honestly at where you lose calls. For most trades, it's 2 windows. After hours, when you finish for the day, but your customer is sat at home staring at a leak, getting more anxious by the minute. And mid-job, when you physically cannot stop what you're doing to answer. Those 2 windows are where the money leaks out, and they're exactly where this earns its keep. Second, don't get bogged down in the technology. You do not need to understand how it works any more than you need to understand the engine management system in your van. You need it to do one job, reliably, answer the phone and book the work. If anyone tries to sell you on the clever technical wizardry instead of that simple outcome, be wary. Third, start small and prove it to yourself. Don't try to automate everything on day one. Point it at your single busiest missed call window, maybe that's evenings, maybe it's weekends, and see what it catches in a fortnight. Look at the jobs it booked that you'd otherwise have never known about. That's your proof in pounds and then you expand from there. The honest truth after years of watching this technology mature is that it has finally caught up with what small firms actually need at a price that finally makes sense. For a long time it was all promise and no delivery. That's changed. So let's recap. 1. It's a real conversation, not a phone menu, and that distinction matters. 2. It books the work for you. It doesn't just take a message. 3. The smart way in is to start with the calls you miss most and let the results make the case. The full guide with the detail is on the blog. I'm Andy Norman. This has been Antek Automation. Find us at antekautomation.com and I'll catch you next time.